Coach.
You guys have been able to learn lessons through wins earlier this season. This is the first time you're going to do so after a loss. How has the team kind of responded to just the different tone of this week of Brad?
Yeah, I mean, like I said after the game the other day, we're going to learn from our wins. We're going to learn from our losses, and we had a very similar film session as far as things that we need to do better and things that we did well that we need to build on both ends of the floor, at a defensive edit and an offensive edit, and then we moved on. Flushed that game away and moved on to our Creighton prep. And obviously, a lot of challenges in this game with their speed. Kalkbrenner's putting up video game numbers right now, shooting 90% from the field and averaging 26.5 points and almost 9 rebounds. And he's making his threes right now as well. I think 3 or 4 from the 3-point line and makes his free throws. So, they just put you in so many difficult positions with their ability to spread the floor. And when they get that thing inside to Kalkbrenner, the biggest thing we have to do is try to do the best we can to take away transition points. Kalkbrenner's ability to get to the rim in transition, and they find him, they get it to him, and their ability to knock down threes in transition as well. And they got a older team led by the guy that is probably the front runner for National Player of the Year right now, and it's a team that's going to put a lot of pressure on you in a lot of ways.
How much is Braxton's importance magnified when a team is a center like Kalk?
Yeah. I'll say this. I thought the big guy the other night for St. Mary's, I thought he was the difference. The freshman Lewis had an unbelievable game and scored the ball, but what Saxon did to us from a physicality standpoint, I really thought on both ends of the floor, he had control of the game. And again, we played a really good basketball team on Sunday. The difference is we had 90% of the fans in the building. This time we're going to have 5% of the fans in the building, and it's a great atmosphere, great environment, one of the best in college basketball. And we're not going to have fans to help us through tough times. If we go down 14, that's going to be hard to pull out of that hole. So, a lot of things that we need to do better, and it all starts with getting off to a better start than what we did on Sunday. I give our guys a lot of credit. They really battled. They fought. In the second half, our defense was 1,000% better, but we need to be consistent for the entire 40 minutes. If not, Creighton's going to make it pay as much as any team in the country. So we got to be on point, and looking forward to this challenge.
How have you seen Braxton sort of embrace this challenge of facing one of the best centers in the country and having a week to sort of prep for that?
Yeah, it's good for him to have the week. He, with the sprained ankle that he had that forced him to miss the game. When he missed whatever it was 4 or 5 days where he couldn't really do much except for bike and stationary elliptical type conditioning, did some work in the pool, but that time off affected him in his conditioning on the floor, and he's had a good week to get that back. He's out there doing extra running as we speak right now to be in the best shape possible. The other thing is Kalkbrenner, the thing that amazes me about him, similar to Edie, is his ability, his stamina to play 30, 32, 35 plus minutes and still have the type of success and impact that he does. So, that's a big thing. We're not going to stop Kalkbrenner with one guy. It's going to take a total effort. It's going to start with Braxton, and, hopefully he can get back and make him shoot it through the goalposts and, make it tough and not get him angles. But, it's amazing what he did. That game, he was 22 of 24, was incredible. And, they did a great job finding him, and Mac runs as good a sets as anybody in college basketball. So, Braxton's going to start with it, but Andrew's going to have to be on point. Burke is going to probably have a stint where he has to do a good job, and we'll see where we go from there.
I know it's impossible to know, but based off what you've seen from this team, how do you feel about the road and handling a road adversity with the veterans you have?
That's a great question, Robin. I guess you don't really know until you truly experience it. We've got the crowd noise piping through the sound system in the practice gym right now, and we're going through our hand signals, but you never truly know until you experience it. And again, this is one of the great venues. It's a great challenge, and we'll learn a lot about ourselves in this game on Friday night.
Do you lean into the rivalry aspect? It's kind of different with rosters, the way they flip now, and guys are new to it, or does it not matter?
I think it matters the fan bases, obviously a lot, and I played in a great rivalry with the Iowa State-Iowa coached in that rivalry. Now this is going into year 6 in this rivalry in the state. The weird thing about this one is that on the next day, a lot of those fans will be cheering for Nebraska on the football field. That's always been a little bit bizarre to me, but you know, it is. These rivalry games are really fun for the fans. They're not very much fun for the coach.
In that game 2 years ago, you had Sam Griesel, who understood everything about that rivalry, and Derek had been a part of it for several years. With this group, is there anybody that you're maybe kind of leaning on to emphasize just the significance of this game to guys that maybe haven't been around it? Yeah,
they know. You know, they've all got their phones. They've all got their social media. They see everything that's being said about this game. I guess the guys that were a part of that game, not only 2 years ago but last year, where they absolutely handed it to us. It was close until about 4 minutes left, and then we folded, and they just completely put it on us in the second half. So I think you lean on both those experiences. The guys, Juwan, Sam, Cale, Henry, Jeff Grace, those guys that were in there in that locker room and felt it and experienced it. But then last year, you know, the pain of going out there and just, you know, getting embarrassed. So, you know, you had guys that have been part of both of that, and just the feeling of what it was like in that locker room, you know, 2 years ago as opposed to what it was like last year. So, you know, I'll say this, whatever happens, we're going to learn from what happens on Friday night from the result. Last year, we grew from it. We had a pretty darn good stretch after that game. You know, 2 years ago, we had a couple unfortunate things happen to our roster, but, you know, this is a game that we're going to learn a lot from. We're going to learn a lot about ourselves, playing the first true road test. It's going to prepare us for our first Big Ten game in East Lansing. It's going to prepare us for life on the road in the Big Ten. And it's, again, a heck of a challenge, one of the best rosters, one of the best teams that we're going to face all year. So we're going to, again, learn a lot about ourselves.
How much can you draw from last year with the difference in Creighton's players and all that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the same type actions. This is a game, as opposed to last one, where St. Mary's had their 8 sets and they ran them and they executed them, and that's what they did. Creighton's so random in what they do, and they put your defense in so much stress. And again, it all starts with their speed. If you let them get out in transition, you may as well not get off the bus. It's going to be a long night. So get back, get your defense set, and then this is more of a conceptual type game plan. These are the things that they do, but it's very random in their sets. St. Mary's was more get it down, get their guys to their spots on the floor, and then execute the play. So, you know, both very effective styles, but a lot more randomness involved in this one. We have to be on point with our communication. We have to do a much better job than we did in the game on Sunday to make sure we get our guys in the right spots so we don't give up an easy one, whether it's a layup or a three. You can't give them both. You know, you can't give up the paint and give them threes. We did that last year.
Is that randomness that harder to prepare for, like with the scout team and all that? How do you prepare for
Yeah, it is. You can't get a true look because they're so good at it, and they've got guys that have been in that system now. It was Shireman last year. He was so good in the random, you know, ghost and shallow actions that he did, and you try to prepare your team as best you can for what they're going to put you through and you know, the stresses that it puts on your defense. But yeah, as far as preparing 100%, you know, last week it was their 8 actions. This is what they're going to run, and they're going to do it really well. And then the shot's going to go up, and that's where the fight really starts, is when the ball gets up on the rim. And, you know, this game is more, you know, these are the things that they do, the conceptual things. They will execute sets very well, but there's so much randomness involved in Coach Mack's offense, and he's as good as anybody in the country, putting his guys in the right spots.
How big was a game like Sunday for player like Berge, newer in his system, and you have that kind of solid game against a really good team, and what that can do for a guy?
Yeah, it was huge for us. We put him in some different spots on the floor, and I thought he took advantage of it. I thought he played with good physicality. I thought he made a couple really good plays defensively. Just went out and made an effort play to get a block shot. We finished off that possession, and it's a confidence builder for Berge to see the ball going in the basket. You know, defensively, I thought he was terrific. I really did think he made a lot of good hustle plays. And now the next step is knocking down his shots. You know, when you play him at the 5, that's one of the advantages of having a skilled player out there, because I'm telling you, he made his last 8 threes in his summer, and I know I talked about that a lot, and who gives a damn, right, until it goes in when you're playing, but he's capable, and once he starts making shots, that's going to be a difference maker for us.
What have you liked from Raleigh these last 4 games?
Yeah, I thought he gave us, when we were fighting back, we were climbing uphill, I thought he did a really good job getting to the basket. A couple really nice finishes for us. His poise, his leadership is always on point. And he's, one thing I do, and I've talked to our guys about this, when we don't have an advantage, we need to slow down. And we did a better job in the last game than we did certainly the game before. I thought we were out of control in the paint in that previous game, and we can't do that against this team. Kalkbrenner's going to block shots. He does as good a job as anybody keeping the ball in play, and that fuels their fast break. We can't challenge him at the rim like we did 2 games ago. But Raleigh, it's a great luxury to have a guy like that that's been through these types of battles, and he's your lead guard, and he can get you settled down and get you into an offense when this situation presents itself. So, need to grow a little bit in that area, but it's great to have a guy with this type of experience.
Sunday was a pretty physical game. How has the team responded health-wise? How healthy are they right now?
Yeah, we're doing fine. We had a really good, tough physical practice today. Yesterday was a little bit lighter, putting the game plan in, getting them up and down, working on some situations, and then tomorrow we'll lighten it up. Heading into the game, so the guys are fresh. That's one of the biggest things to me, is having fresh legs and fresh minds going into this game. But we got after it today, and everybody responded fine.
Kalkbrenner in the middle and no Trey Alexander. How important is it for your perimeter guys to get on the board early?
Yeah, as far as the glass, you're saying, yeah, very important. They're, I think, a plus 12 rebound margin, if I'm not mistaken. And we need to do a better job. I think we won the overall rebound battle on Sunday, but we gave them 17 second chance opportunities, and from an offensive rebound percentage, we weren't very good. But we got to battle. We got to finish possessions. When I was watching the FDU game before we played them, I thought the key possession in that game, I think it was 12-4. FDU was ahead, and they got 5 straight offensive rebounds, led to a Trout 3, and they were off and running from there. So, finishing possessions has been a big emphasis for us, and we just got to be tougher physically, mentally, and find a way to get the ball off and go to the other end.
Offensively, too, for your guards scoring the ball, is there more maybe an opportunity for them?
With Kalkbrenner in the paint?
No, Alexander on the perimeter, too.
Oh, well, again, they've got Neal. I've been really impressed with his defense. Isaacs is all over the place, and anytime you got a guy like Kalkbrenner, man of the paint, sitting down in there, the way they chase you and drop and stay home, it's a good defense. And they got the defensive player of the year, I think, the last 2 years, and that puts some heat on you. So again, we need to execute. We need to play with pace. We need to screen. We need to have physicality on the offensive end as well.
Their 4 spot, they could rotate multiple guys. How hard is that to prepare for? Just they have about 4 of them.
Yeah, in different dynamics with those guys. Certainly all capable. Trout's playing with a lot of confidence right now, coming off, I think, his best game. Hitting whatever it was, 3 or 4 threes. But his athleticism at the rim as well. Jason Green is very good defender, tough kid. I know he's a guy that can make shots. Miller, at the 4. Certainly is a guy that can make shots. So, listen, their whole roster can shoot. That's at the end of the day, the one guy we might let shoot a little bit outside is King. But everybody else on their roster, Kalkbrenner, you can see the development, the way he's making shots right now. So they just, again, the heat, when you have 5 guys on the floor, they can shoot the ball like they do, man, it puts a lot of stress on you.
Some people want to know, on that final possession at St. Mary's, needed 3, Esigian wasn't on the floor. Was there anything that went into that?
You know what? I'll take the timeout. I thought would allow us to put him back in the game, but he went in there. We subbed to get the rebound. We were going to call the timeout, and then the thought was to get him back on the floor. But obviously we were not allowed to do that, so I put that one on me.
With the 3-point shooting, have you found any sort of solution or ways to get that thing going? Whether it's changing up the designs of plays or whatever it is, just to get the lid off?
Yeah, listen, we found a way. The things we've done really well, we've offensive rebounded well, and we've gotten to the free throw line. 2 things that are going to be tough to do against Creighton: they don't foul, and it's going to be hard to manufacture those kind of points. I'll say this, Robin, it takes a game to see the ball going in the hoop, and then usually that gets your confidence back going again. And it's coming. I don't know when, but we're going to do everything we can to create open shots for our guys and hopefully knock them down. Connor, one of the big possessions, made a great read to get an open one that could have put us up I think 7 or 8 points. And, you know, those are shots that he makes and he's going to make. So, you know, it's going to take a game where we see the ball go in the basket and then hopefully gain some confidence and be off and running.
Is this a game where you want to play faster or maybe slow it down because Creighton wants to play
We want to
faster?
play fast as we possibly can, Mike. No, I'm just kidding. The flow will dictate some of that, and you know, if we have an advantage, we want to take it. But again, that's the recognition. If we don't have an advantage, we need to slow down, execute, and hopefully get a good quality possession. Thank you.